In this video we're going to see some great action from this week's daily race B at Trial Mountain. We're also going to discuss one of the changes Polyphony have just made which make the game 100 times better. And some of you may have noticed that my car looks, well, a little different to usual. And firstly, let's start off with a massive shout out to Orange Sunshine for making me this absolutely fantastic livery for my Aston Martin. It is brilliant. Even now when I look at it, I keep finding little details I didn't notice before. It must have taken them so long to do, and I absolutely love it. Pretty much all my Group 3 races now in my Aston, I'm going to be sporting this livery. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It is brilliant. And as we start the race, that actually leads us on nicely to the point I wanted to make about the change that Polyphony have made. The rolling start. Because, look at it. We're all together. I mean, we have been asking as racers, as players, for this for so long. The rolling starts were broken. But now, we're all on the same part of the track at the same time. It's brilliant. It works. It's so much better. Polyphony, thank you. Finally, thank you. And that times it very nicely for the old green flag, and we get the race underway. Now, as usual, Trial Mountain, a long straight, and it's a good one because if you get the slipstream, you can already catch up to the guy in front of you straight away. Now, racing hard tyres here, not the best choice, especially when they're cold, so a little bit careful through the left and right S-bends here. And then we come up to the tunnel, and as usual you want to brake just before you go into the tunnel. Keep it to the left, and then accelerate hard out as soon as you see the light. Mater there in my Mazda getting it all wrong, and Polydor leaving the door open for me in my Porsche. Thank you very much, mate. I'll take that all day. Little dab of brake just before the right hander as we head up towards the small tunnel. Now, I would have preferred to be a bit more over to the right to give myself a better line through the left and into the main straight, but Mark V in the Porsche was already there, and so I was a little compromised. Now I'll just speed it up a little bit here through the straight until we get to the bottom where you can see we are 3 abreast. Now, I know from experience that doesn't work on this section of the track. Polydor in Porsche goes deep, which gives me a place, and I am right behind the Mitsubishi, and I'm thinking over the hill I might have another chance, and yet Polydor throws an absolute dive bomb up the inside, and I get distracted a little bit by the fact that Smudger had already gone off the track in that section. Now as we come for the left-hander, Polydor gets the place back. It was a little bit of a cheeky overtake, but I know we've got the chicane coming up, and I'm in the slipstream, so I'm thinking I'm going to have a go at an overtake here, and I go for it, but unfortunately I go a little bit too deep, compromise myself, and Polydor manages to keep the place, which is fair enough. As we come in down the start straight though, you can see that Mark V in the fantastically green Porsche has obviously got a penalty, so that gives us a place. And now I'm in the slipstream of Polydor here, but we're coming up to the sweeping left and right handers, and that is not a place to be trying to overtake. It's hard enough trying to keep it on the track as it is. And as we come up to the tunnel, Polydor slows right down, takes a defensive line. Nothing wrong with that, but he does that compromise me a little bit. But then suddenly, on the right, you can see that Mark throws a dive bomb at the inside, makes contact with Polydor, and then he hits the curb, which then compromises me because I go into the back of him. And as we go around the right-hander, I get tapped from behind by Polydor, who then takes that place. Now, to be fair, that move was naughty. He pushed me out the way. Now I'll jump ahead a little bit here until we get to this section of the lap, where as you can see it's all starting to get a little bit tasty up in front. 2 of the guys have picked up penalties for contact, so I'm thinking there's 2 places I'm going to have quite easily, but I really do want to overtake Polydor, and I know we got the chicane coming up, so I'm thinking I'm going to have a go here, but he has to pull across to get past Lassiter, and that sort of compromises me, and I do make contact with him a little bit there. Unfortunately, it compromises me more badly, and then we get Jesus, or Jesus Loves You, coming onto the track like an absolute jerk. I mean, he needs to have Jesus on his side if he's going to pull manoeuvres like that. And as we start lap 3, quick check of the rear view mirror and I can see Polydor is right on my boot. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, this is not the section to be trying to overtake, and he tries it, which compromises him. He goes into the dirt and that allows me to pull a little bit of a gap. And to be fair, that was about the highlight of this particular lap. So we're going to jump ahead now to lap 4. And just at the end of the straight, as we come into the S-bends, we can see that Mark V in the lime green Porsche has put it into the old barrier. Now, from what I've heard a lot of people say, the Porsches are not that comfortable going over the undulating track here at Trial Mountain, which for me, that's okay, because the Aston Martin seems to love the bumps, loves the curbs. It's not the fastest car in a straight line, but it's definitely more stable through the rest of the track.
If you guys could hit those like, subscribe and notification buttons, it would help out the channel and I would really appreciate it.
And at this point I'm going to take a jump ahead, well, quite a big jump ahead actually, to the latter section of lap 5. Now, as we come down to the last section here, we can see that there's been a bit of an accident in front, but Jesus actually pulls over and waits for Escanor to get back on the track. Now, I'd like to think I'll be that much of a sportsman. Whether or not I would in the heat of the moment, I don't know, but fair play to Jesus. That's just another one of those moments when people in this game really do surprise you and you realise that there are some decent, fair players in this game. And as we come to finish off the chicane for the last time, a little bit slow for the first corner, pair on through the second, and then we're just heading off down the start-finish straight to finish off the race. Now, thankfully to Jesus pulling up and waiting for Escanor, I managed to pick up 2 places there, which gives me a fantastic 8th place. Not what I expected, but very much welcome, and especially when you consider how many places I picked up. Thoroughly enjoyed that race, love the new rolling start procedure, and very happy with that result. For more great videos like this one, follow this link. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.